Buddy Sandin here, and we got our 15th episode of our New York Islanders franchise mode here at the PS4, guys. In the last episode, we went and did the 2020 Year 3 NHL entry draft with your New York Islanders. Make sure you go check out that episode. It was pretty intense after the draft, because in the draft we only had like 5 draft picks, and our first pick wasn't till like the fourth or fifth round, so it was a pretty weak draft for us. But afterwards, when we got into the big signing phase, we had a lot of names that came up, and they were unrestricted free agents, and a lot of them didn't want to re-sign, but we were able to re-sign a good chunk of them. So once again, make sure you go check that out. Link will be in the description down below. And yeah, so we are missing a couple pieces to this, what I would consider a cup contender of a team. And so one thing I'm going to do is we have a free agent frenzy here. Lots of names available. Ryan Murray, Jeff Skinner, two of the notable names on defense and on offense. But there's one guy, as you can see, in green, Casey Middlestat. I have offered him a contract. Many teams are interested in this 21-year-old third line scoring forward. He's probably going to develop into like a second or even maybe first line forward kind of guy for a lot of teams. And I mean, this is a big name. He had great, like insane stats in the AHL. And if you guys didn't know, along with those 54 goals, he had 7 game winners and 403 shots. He could be a really good player for us. We do have Matthew Barzal, who is 23, medium elite center playmaker, but I mean, he definitely doesn't look as good as Middlestat. So the big thing is we did sign Matthew Barzal to a contract extension for 2 years at around 3.75, I believe it was, or 3.95, and just around that range. And so, but when we raised up the contract duration, he ended up, his money went up, and it said that basically, what normally happens is when a guy's price goes up, his overall within those years ends up raising to whatever would be at that value. That way you can't sign guys to 8-year contracts worth like $4 million. Then they turn into an amazing player. But Matthew Barzal is a big guy for us he's supposed to be a big guy for us, but he really hasn't performed the way that we hoped he has. So I have given a contract to Middlestat. I'm not going to overpay for him because, again, it says he's a third-line scorer. He may obviously develop into something great for us, but I am still keeping it fair, reasonable. I gave him a 2-year deal at 5.5, so if we don't sign him, it would suck, but I can't. This is a cap team. We cannot overpay for guys like this, especially if he is only going to be a third-line player for us. Because who's our big guy? It's John Tavares, and we only got like 2 or 3 more years left with this team, and so I need to be. We got to be smart with the money. So that's going to be the biggest thing. I'm not going to give Ryan Murray or anybody else a contract. I will show you over here if we go to, I believe it would be approached, and these are all the guys we're signing. So we're looking for some depth players. We got Nielsen, Sidorov, Eli, and Malkin for the AHL team. We also got some more prospects here, high-rated, low top 6 defensemen, and then we got a couple more elite prospects, and then another center prospect there, medium top 6. So we're going to see if those guys all sign, and we also have a goalie or two, 3 goalies, a starting goaltender for the AHL, and then 2 prospect goalies. We probably won't be able to sign both of them. If we do, great. If not, that's all right. But the biggest guy that we are looking to get is Middlestat. I'm hoping he's going to sign. A lot of you guys are saying to go after a guy like PK Subban because he was on the trade block in the last episode. He still is. I have a feeling for how long he's been on the trade block, he still will be on there later on. And I don't want to trade Matthew Barzal straight away. I want to see if he develops at all, if he can become that second line player, or if Middlestat does. Because when we get to that part of when we get to the beginning of the season and we see what our team is looking like, then we can make that move for another guy. And who knows, maybe a couple other names will come up as well. We may also lose the opportunity to sign Subban, but with his contract, we'd have to retain cap. We'd have to give up more than just Barzal. It's a tough trade to make. And I feel like, this team has we have a lot of young guys that still can develop. On defense, we're still looking for maybe one other high-end defenseman to go with Brodin and Letty, and then another. I'd say we need another second line center, and then another big forward like that. We need a second line center. That's the biggest thing. We need a guy who's going to be like 85, 86, a guy who would be a first liner on most teams. We need that Malkin. Maybe not as obviously that high rated. If we could, then that'd be great. But we need a high end rated second line center. So we are going to just sim to the beginning of the next season. We will get some sim done in this episode, but the plan is to see if we can get Middlestat on this team within what cap space we have, and then look forward to what we could potentially make in the rest of the offseason and leading up to the first couple months of the season. So let's start getting the sim and see if we sign these guys. Hoffman, prospect goalie, decided to reject our offer. Jaffrey went to Vegas. We got Esposito, center grinder. We got Hargrave, Zadorov, defenseman. He went to Vancouver. Exoby, a goalie prospect. So we got one of the goalie prospects. Danielson, he's a defensive defenseman in medium elite or low elite prospect. So that's all right. We got him as well. And Casey Middlestat, yes, we got him. 2 years at $5.5 million. Again, it's overpaying, but there were like 5 other teams interested in him as well. So, I mean, we had to pay him. So, I'd say that this could be interesting. We have a lot of guys. We definitely could be trading some guys in the future here. We got Morgan there, Eli, Nielsen, Montembeau, and Sidorov, and Tom. So look at that. We got some depth for the AHL and some young prospects, and we got Casey Middlestat. So I'm looking forward to seeing what our team's going to look like here. And if anything happens, any trade offers or such like that, I will show you. But otherwise, I will see you guys at the beginning of the season. Okay, guys, so as you can tell, Nashville has been looking to trade many of their defensemen, including Ryan McDonough, PK Subban, and one of them, Ryan Ellis. They want 2 of our first-round picks for Ryan Ellis. I am not going to do that just yet. Again, it could be an option, but I would prefer to go after a bigger name with those draft picks, or even just, I mean, you never know. Maybe we tank or San Jose ends up tanking and we get a top-end pick. We still do have to look towards the future. 2 firsts for a defenseman that, you know, if I am trading both my firsts, I want a PK Subban kind of defenseman. So I'm going to decline that for now, and we'll keep on going. And we have another trade. Mark Pysyk for a first-round pick. Once again, similar to Ellis. I would prefer Ellis for just a straight-up first. Pysyk for a first, for me, isn't worth it. So I'm going to decline this trade. So we are here at the beginning of the season, guys. I skipped over that little edit line sequence and the set captains thing. Well, I did go into set captains. We still do have our normal captains. John Tavares, our C, and then we have our 2 assistants in Josh Bailey and, of course, defenseman Nick Leddy. Now we are going to go and see what our team is looking like and who's grown, who maybe has decreased in overall. And Svechnikov, I see 85, Middlestat, 84, second line forward, Matthew Barzal, 83, second line forward. Okay, so some pretty good growth, I'd say. Goaltenders, look at that, 84 overall Sorokin. That's an interesting thing that just appeared before us, I'd say. Not the greatest way to word it, but I mean, we have a 25-year-old starting goaltender, so we do have a goalie for the future. Once Talbot is, like within a year or two, I'd say Sorokin's probably our guy, right? I mean, do you trade Sorokin or do you keep him? That's an interesting thing, but they fit within the cap. It's a good goalie tandem. We're gonna go with them into the season. Montembeau and Vanacek and XOB. I'll keep Vanacek for now. Maybe we may end up trading him if we want XOB to go in there, or we can just have the extra goalie. Probably doesn't hurt. Defense, let's see what we got. We got Nielsen. Do we have any depth defensemen here? Tom's. Depth defenseman Weatherspoon, so we could use another defenseman for sure. That may not be too bad to put in a guy like Weatherspoon, I'd say. He's an option. Why did it do that? Let's put down Nielsen. That should be what we got for now. Kavanagh, our low elite defenseman, he's 20 years old. Not quite a depth defenseman. I really was hoping for him to get that big growth spurt there, but I think that's all right. He still has 3 years left on his entry-level contract. 20 years old, low elite. He could still develop into something for us. That's what we're looking forward to. And then we got our defense looks in the AHL pretty good. We got some young prospects there that can play with these guys. So it looks pretty solid there. Right wingers, you know what, we can just go into all forwards. So let's look at this. We got Tavares, Panarin, and then probably Eberle on that first line. We could also move Svechnikov there. Svechnikov, Middlestat would be deadly. Hosang, and then we have Barzal, Henrique, and Norris. So that's our top 9 there. Bellows, Bailey, and Bouvillier is our bottom 6 there, or bottom 3. And then we have Case and Forsbacka Carlson. So we could look to trade Bellows, of course, because he didn't have the greatest numbers, but we could also keep him. I'd say the guys who I'm not looking to trade right now, obviously not Tavares, not Panarin, not Svechnikov, Middlestat we just got, nope. Eberle, I like his chemistry on the top line. I'm going to keep him for now. Hosang is an option, but I like his contract, and I think he could have a breakout season here. Barzal is probably the big one with the acquisition of Middlestat. I mean, now his senses are 5-star, probably because his poise went up a bit. His defensive category went up a bit. So we could look to keep him and have a really strong center core, but I still want a higher rated. Middlestat isn't quite at the rating that I want him at. I want him to be higher. I need that 86 overall center. We need another 86 plus kind of guy, another first liner to go on that second line. But we got Middlestat. And then we have Henrique, who I'm not looking to trade. He's our big penalty killer, great third line center, I'd say, and a reasonable contract. Josh Norris could be a penalty killer for us, and his offensive awareness is off the charts, so that could be a good depth guy for us. Bellows, again, like I said, he's potentially going to be moved. Potentially. Josh Bailey, our penalty killer, again, maybe a bit overpaid. Probably going to be his last year here, maybe, unless we get him at a reasonable deal. Bouvillier, Case, Forsbacka, Carlson are depth guys, potentially fourth liners for us. Excuse me. And then our AHL is a bit weak. We could make a couple minor signings, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. We still need to see what our lineup's going to look like. So I will definitely go check out the trade blocks and see if anybody is available. And then we might go a month or so into the sim. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, let me go check out the trade blocks and see who's available. So I decided I was going to look at the trading block. I did decide that, you know what, I'm just going to show you guys. I only got up to Boston, and then I changed my mind, and I thought I'd just show you guys. Then that way it even builds more surprise. So, you know what, let's go through this together. We're not going to look at goalies because we don't need to. So Anaheim, just prospects there. Arizona, a couple of depth guys. Stewart, a potential prospect for us, but we don't need that. Jack Eichel, okay. No. These kind of guys, no. I won't accept Jack Eichel. Beforehand, though, in the offseason, I was actually looking, and this, you guys can let me know what you think about this if we don't make this, but Ryan O'Reilly, potentially with a bit of retained cap, in exchange for Matthew Barzal. Straight up 1-for-1 trade. And again, maybe with some retained cap on Ryan O'Reilly. That was a potential trade I was looking at. Jack Eichel, no, I don't care. He's a franchise guy for them. They're not actually trading him. That's just one of those ridiculous rumors. I mean, even McKinnon, they wouldn't trade. Matthews rumors, again, you're looking for more defense. No. He's their top line center, so no. Again, but there were some other options there. I mean, if you're looking for some wingers, so you got Kreider, who they probably just signed at a free agency. Okposo, Kane, Bodker. Let's see who else is available. I skipped over it. I did not actually see him the first time we accidentally moved on to Calgary, but TJ Brody, a puck-moving defenseman. You know what? He's an offensive defenseman, but honestly, with those offensive stats and defensive stats, he's an 87 overall. I would take that. I would look at making that deal. Brody, what would we have to give up for Brody? Let's take a quick look at this. So they're not interested in anybody except maybe Talbot, but again, so first, you'd throw in 2 first. You'd throw in maybe a goalie. Again, it's to the other division. I mean, realistically, you don't want to give up Sorokin, but you'd probably have to in this trade. And then maybe Peacock, a defensive prospect. So that could probably get the deal done. So what do you guys think about that? They need a goalie, so we could just take up like a backup from them. Parsons is supposed to be their goalie of the future, but I mean, we could just take on like who has some decent stats. NHL. Wow, Keith Kincaid played a lot of games for them. Maybe maybe a guy like that, or John Gillies. No, I'd probably go with Kincaid. He has 1 year left, so we could look at maybe doing that. So basically, Sorokin 2 first, Peacock and Kincaid for Brody. I want to ask you guys about that. I'm not sure. Hamonic was also available, but I want a more dynamic defenseman. And Justin Falk. Okay, so right-handed offensive defenseman, Carolina. This is an Eastern Conference opponent, again, but it's not too bad. They are willing to accept Barzal, so that's a very strong option for us. I'm not trading Middlestat. We did just get him. I guess we don't really need that center. I am looking at a defenseman now. So basically, it's a Barzal Bellows trade, the double B for him, and then maybe Peacock. Again, you can look at moving him if you want to, and first round picks. So that makes sense. Again, it wouldn't necessarily be this. I mean, you could take out Bellows out of that, and maybe even Peacock. But Barzal for Falk. That's an option. Or do we keep Barzal? Like, I don't know what we do with Barzal. Now we have Middlestat. I guess he becomes just really just expendable. But, I mean, this has been a really interesting opportunity for our team here. Savard was available. I went just into straight up defenseman. We can go back here. Savard, Carlson, McKinnon is an option, but I don't know. Maybe he's kind of along the same lines as the other guy. Coyle, they just signed. Lucic, again, is still available. Not too interested in these guys. I'm just going to skip over them quick. Jacob Muzzin. Oh, yeah, you're hilarious. And they re-signed Spurgeon, but they want to get rid of him. Oh, I guess he went to Pittsburgh, but yeah. Nashville, they don't want to give up their defenseman anymore. You know what? That makes sense for them anyways. Shattenkirk is available. I'm not really interested in Shattenkirk. Never really have been. I'd want to, if I'm getting an offensive defenseman, I would go after Brody. Gruix and Rourke, I think that's how you say their names. And anybody else, a bunch of prospects up here. I mean, if you want a 77 overall prospect there, you got some centers and a defensive prospect. Nothing really much else. Patterson at 21 years old. No. Again, that would kind of make sense, but also now it doesn't because we got Middlestat, so he's probably off the table. So now you go after Brody, I think, and I might actually make the deal for him anyways. I kind of feel bad because I don't know if they just sign him or not, so it would kind of be unrealistic if they did. Nashville. Wait, no. Who was the other team with a defenseman? Carolina. So Justin Falk, right-handed. He's 28. He's 87. Let me look at the difference. So, little less trade value for Falk. Falk's younger. He's a bit more expensive, but less term. I didn't actually realize that. I would have thought that Falk was older, but I guess he's not. Yeah, that looks like a pretty reasonable deal. And then you go Barzal. That's really tough. I don't know if I want to do that. I wish I could have got through this opportunity through the last video, but it's tough. And then what do they need for their team? What makes sense? Center, yeah, they need a top line guy for the future. But then that's that's kind of a divisional opponent. Jake Bean, if you want a younger, no. I would go for Justin Falk, not Hannafin. I'd go for Falk. Offensive defenseman, and he has some good defensive and offensive stats. And do we trade a defenseman to go there? No, we'd probably keep Montour. We can keep him there. And that's interesting. What else do they need? They need goalies, kind of, but not really. But I wouldn't give them a goalie. I'd give them Barzal. Again, it's a younger player for an older player. It's hard to say. Middlestat, I guess we go with as our second line center now. I mean, I think you kind of have to with how he is. But you know what? I don't want to lose him. Okay, this is going to be really hard to do. Okay, guys, that is it. Matthew Barzal has had his time expire in Long Island, and he is going to be going to Carolina in exchange for Justin Falk. We are going to see if we can get $1 million retained in cap space. That would be huge for us being a very much a cap team. And along with Peacock, we are also going to throw in a first and a second in next year's draft, a first from this year's draft, and we are going to put in Roland McEwen as well to sweeten the pot. That way we can get a young defenseman, could potentially become a future guy for us, but he is basically there for depth and in case we get any injuries. So let's see if this will go through. Barzal for Justin Falk. We give up a young center, kind of still unproven, but he could really thrive in Carolina. This could be a one-sided trade for both teams. But I'm getting what I want, a retained cap in Justin Falk, who could be our number 2-3 guy for us. Will this go through? Trade rejected. They are not willing to accept that much cap. So what we're going to do is we are going to retain 500,000. See if that works. Will it go through now? Minus the second. Trade rejected still. Okay, fine. We'll take on the freaking cap. But now I'm going to see if I can get this to go straight through. Falk and McEwen for Peacock and Barzal. Will it go through? Trade rejected. So now we just need to throw in a draft pick. We'll throw in a second. Barzal, Peacock in a second for Justin Falk and Roland McEwen. Will it go through? Trade accepted. We have now released Matthew Barzal to Carolina, and we have acquired Justin Falk, who is going to be a great defenseman for us. Let me go finish up the lines, and we will start up year 4, the 2020-21 year with your New York Islanders. So here we are, guys. We are here to start your year 4 season with the New York Islanders, and here we are. We have Panarin, Tavares, Eberle. Our top line from last year, it excelled, and we're going to keep it that way. We could still make some changes later on, but for now, I'm going to keep it this way. Second line, we're going to roll with Josh Hosang, Casey Middlestat, and Andrei Svechnikov. You're going to have one-timers with Hosang and Svechnikov. The young gun line is going to be on fire, hopefully. And then the third line, we're going to put Bellows with Henrique and Norris, a good defensive player with a good all-around player. Josh Norris is just... He has interesting stats, but somehow he gets it done. And then I'm hoping that will help Bellows to rejuvenate what his promising career once looked like. And then Josh Bailey, we will have playing with Anthony Beauvillier. And I decided to go with Jakob Forsback at Carlson instead of Andre Case because I feel more comfortable putting the two-way forward. And Forsback at Carlson reminds me of Josh Norris, where he just has like weird stats, but I mean, he has gotten it done in the AHL. So I'm going to try out that, and then we're going to leave Case and McEwen out as our depth guys. Hopefully they won't get too mad about the ice time, but we should be okay. AHL best lines, here we go. This is what we have going. So, yeah, that looks pretty decent. Defense, there you go. We will be giving the nod to our defensive defenseman, young prospect Danielson. So, yeah, let's see. Kavanaugh, we want to make sure he's getting that top-notch ice time. We'll put him there. And then let's go. Yeah, that seems to work there. Goalies, we are going to put Montembeault Bolton Vanacek there. We'll leave our prospect goalie there for now. He should be all right. NHL, there you go. Let me quickly show you the power play lines. We have Svechnikov with Panarin and Tavares. We're going to have our Eberle moving down there. And then we're going to have Brodin and Falk, and then Leddy and Montour, and then the same thing basically for 4-on-4. Penalty kill, we're going to have Brodin and Falk, Carlo and Fabro on defense, then we're going to have Bellows, Norris, Henrique, and Bailey, making sure all these guys are getting ice time as much as we can, and then Henrique and Norris once again, and there you go. That's what we got. Goalies, we have Talbot and Sorokin as our netminders, and that will be pretty much that. So let's go straight in. And we are going to go get the season sim done as quickly as possible. We're going to get probably a month or so in, and then we'll get feedback on what you guys thought of those monstrous, humongous, ginormous moves that the New York Islanders just made right before the start of the season. And 2-0 win against AHL team, basically, because everyone's going to have all their young guns out in the preseason. So yeah, preseason, we're not too worried about that. If we go undefeated or if we go with whatever record it is, it doesn't matter. Let's see, what do we need? We could use some forwards, we could use some defense, could use some goalies, could use a bit of everything. Let's just go with the role. We're just go with the Canadian guys, and we'll go like maybe 3 weeks of like forwards, defense, goalies, and then forwards, defense, goalies, forwards, defense, goalies, with the 3 Canadian leagues there. So looks like our goaltending's been solid. Got a couple goose eggs there. Now our offense is kind of shoring up. We don't want to see that too much. Salary cap compliant, I believe we are good, so that should be all right. And then, oh no, I didn't want to stop simulation. I just thought it was going to be the beginning of the season for some reason. Players on waivers, yeah, we'll be okay with that, I think. 4-2-1, not too bad. Again, we're not too worried about that. We're just going to get right into the simulation as soon as possible. Why don't we slow sim it? We haven't done that in a while, I don't think. So we're going to start off against the 1-0 Winnipeg Jets. Let's sim this game and see how the New York Islanders do. See how they perform. Middlestat and Scheifele on the draw to start. First period, we got a goal from Panarin and a goal from Trouba. So Sorokin starting the year, whatever. Subban their backup, I'm guessing. And then, yeah, Sorokin our backup. So let's see. Wow, 19-5 the shots. Come on, boys. Sorokin's bailing out here. Let's go. Second period. And there you go. Artemi Panarin gets a second of the season. The top line is already excelling. Third period. And look at that. Bouvillier and Tavares with the empty netter. He is going to continue to be a goal per game coming out of the playoffs. Scheifele gets one, but it's not going to be enough. 4-2 victory. We got outshot big time. But you know what? That's all right. Sorokin, off to a great start. We got our young goalie in there. Panarin and Tavares, the top line, and we win 4-2. That's exactly the kind of game that I want to see to start off the year. So that's great. Let's just get the first month done, and hopefully we won't have... I'm not going to say anything, but we're off to a good start. We got 2 W's off the bat against Eastern Conference team there, divisional rival, the New York Rangers. And Jared Cowan, a couple depth picks moved around. I don't want to give up multiple draft picks. Cowan does make sense, and no, I don't see how this trade benefits me in any way. Sorry, Calgary. And there's our first loss of the season. That's all right. Let's go to defense. 3 weeks in the dub. And now we got a couple more games played. A big 7-2 loss against the Sharks. That's not what I want to see. Come on, boys. Let's pick it back up here. Big 4-1 win against Pacific Division opponent. Then a 2-1 win over the St. Louis Blues. 4-0 win against the Middlestat's old team there. And we're going pretty even here. 6-3. Had a couple wins. So, yeah, I would say that's pretty good. Let's keep on going. We are kind of winning. This is a big month for games, so I don't mind just keep on going. Big 5-1 win against the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid. I checked his overall when I was going through some of the looking for trades in the offseason. He's 96 overall. That's redonkulous, but I mean, it's McDavid, so it's not surprising. And of course, Andre Case is already started to complain about ice time. Should be motivated. Let's be demanding. Come on. Okay, strong tone, that works. I'm not feeling very positive about my performance on ice lately. Let's see, you had one thing there, and then let's see, 4 points, 10 games, -2. Yeah, you do got to pick it up here, bud. I mean, Hosang, I'm looking forward to you potentially having a breakout year here. Come on. Let's be demanding from him, and nothing's going to happen there. So the demanding didn't work with Hosang. Hopefully our depth guys are okay. We might want to get them in for some games here and there. That might not be too bad of an idea, but we are winning, so it's kind of, I mean, mixed reactions. You guys can let me know what you think about leaving those guys to sit for the rest of the season. You guys can, or maybe we trade them. Let's see, Pavelski prospect. We gain a 4th and a 6th, and Schlemko. That's not too bad of a deal. I'm gonna look at that. We don't have much cap space. This would improve our defense in the AHL. I think I'm gonna hold off for now. Not a bad. I do like the trade for us, but I'm just gonna leave it for now. Big 4-3 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning, Eastern Conference opponent. They will probably be contenders, I would assume, with their roster. I mean, they got to still have Kucherov and Stamkos over there, right? And Hebman and Sergachev. A little even here, kind of going 500, a loss, a win, a loss, a win. I'd like to get some more wins against some Eastern Conference teams. Divisional opponents is what I meant to say. And we have a big injury. Jonas Brodin, only for a short amount of time. Let me quickly make sure that we get in the right guys. Okay, the lines are fixed, and I decided that we're going to put Andre Case, give him a shot in the lineup, see what he can do, because that fourth line hasn't been doing too much. I mean, Josh Bailey just really hasn't been getting it done. Just want to quickly double check and make sure all of our lines are doing all right. Second line, kind of off. First line, of course, doing great. Let's see if we can maybe shake things up a bit. Let's maybe move, well, No, we'll just leave the lines the way they are, just because I mean we are winning, and we do have some injuries, so we're gonna leave it for now. Maybe things will get changed. Merle McEwen's gonna stay with Falk because I want these guys and these guys to stay together. Falk's gonna get moved down to the second pair with McEwen, and then we're gonna put Letty in. Letty basically Letty's gonna get back all of his ice time that he did before. So he's gonna really have to step it up. Fabro's gonna get some power play time, and that should be it for now. So let's see how our team performs with Brodin out of the lineup. 2 big wins. Our team is playing very clutch. Brodin is back. Let me fix the lines again. Brodin is still injured, actually, so I decided that I am probably going to go and stop the sim for a moment, let him get back to full recovery, and I'm going to make that notification that says to call him back when he's fully healthy, because I really would prefer to have my top defenseman not get injured again. I guess it could be based on the type of injuries, maybe that he might be more prone to getting injured again. But I want it to be, yeah, fully healed. I want to make sure that that's the case. Playable, we'll leave that for the AHL. That should be all right, I'd say. I mean, we're basically just letting our AHL lines be the same that they are, and just it's basically best lines. So I'm not too worried about them. It's the NHL team that we got to be worried about. So we got a point against Washington. I'm not sure. Let's just sim. I'm going to sim in this screen. Okay, so Brodin is fully healed now. So he's recovered from the injury. Let's bring him back in very shortly. So I put Brodin back in the lineup, and I decided that I think I'm going to try Nick Leddy on the top line power play. Keep him up there, just because I think it'll be good to spread out the ice time more. I think Leddy is our number 3 guy, probably. Number 2, 3 guy with Falk. So I want to give him some more opportunities to I mean, basically spread out the ice time, because these are our top 3 guys that we have to rely on all the time. And so we're gonna leave that, let that be the way that it is. Svechnikov is gonna get a bit more ice time on the 4-man power play, which I mean again is seldom, but that's fine. And then we're gonna keep Case out in there. I'd say. I mean he's done. Yeah, he's +1, so that line's doing a bit better. Let's see. Check out these guys. Yeah, we'd like Josh Bailey to do a bit better, but there's not too much you can really do. Bellows is going back to scoring, and the second line is doing all right. So I think we'll just leave that for now, and we can go back to the calendar and start going back to the sim. Because we are playing really well, I might as well just keep on going like till the deadline or the All-Star break or whatever, basically. Because, I mean, there's no reason to change anything. We just had a big 6-1 win against the Detroit Red Wings, so that's always nice. Get the scouting done. Oh, so we did the goalies. We'll go to the OHL forwards for 3 weeks. Big game against Chicago. We lose 5-2. I guess it's not really a big game. It didn't really matter too much. A little losing streak there. Come on, boys. We got to get out of this and get a big win. Andre Case is fully healed. He was in the lineup before, wasn't he? Wasn't he? Yeah, he's fine. Okay, so it's just because he had a minor injury, probably. That's all right. Washington, big 5-2 victory, and another win against the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's huge. We're staying 10 games above 500. That's nice. An overtime loss against Calgary. That's all right. I'll take the points where I can. A bunch of pointless draft picks being No, too much. Too hard. I don't like the math. I don't like the work. We're just gonna leave that. We don't need to really look at getting Schlemko. Plus, I mean, he's a one-way contract, so I believe so. Basically, we'll have to take his. It'll be against the cap. Pavelski, I don't really see how this helps us. I mean, he's unsigned. I don't know. What's the okay? Wait. What's the record? 13. You know what? Sure. Jonathan Taves is up on. Okay, that's more interesting. Let me look at Pavelski. What's his overall and sniper? Yeah, I'm okay with that. We'll make that trade there, Chicago. But Jonathan, oh my gosh, never mind. We don't need a trade. We beat McDavid 9-0. We beat McDavid 9-0. That's it. Because I mean, it's not Edmonton. It's McDavid. That's his team. And we just smoked them. That's kind of ridiculous. I don't know what's more ridiculous: the fact we beat McDavid 9-0, or the fact that Taves is on the block. Well, I guess I'm not surprised at this point in the franchise mode, especially he's probably going to be like, I think when I saw him earlier, because I was looking around, and I believe he was like 32. So let's quick peek at that, and maybe we'll see anybody else on the way potentially. Some defensemen there. Yarmosson once again still up. Hamonic, Brody is still available, but Jonathan Taves. 86 over. Oh, yeah. Nah. Cap space. Uh, yeah. I mean, it's a name. Again, just looking to see if there was an option. It wouldn't have been bad. Let's see. What else do we have here? Martinez? Defenseman? No. Just a quick look. It doesn't hurt to check at this point in the year. Muzzin, I'm not too worried about. I mean, we could retrade for him. Simmons? I was looking at Giroux too, but I guess he's not available. That was a great voice crack. Not bad. I mean, it's Wayne Simmons. He's a great player. Great plane. Wayne Train. I meant not a plane. It's a train. Okay. Never mind. Forget what I was saying. Philadelphia. Any other guys? Prospects. Pettersson is still. Why the heck is Pettersson still on the block? Pettersson. He's 86 overall now. I don't get why you want to trade your 22-year-old center. He's your best guy. Care to explain why? That rhymes. Oh man, I'm just rolling today, aren't I? Okay, let's just go back to the sim. Let's go back to the team that is rolling. So yeah, we are. Tavares' point per game. That's great. He's not quite scoring as much. He's getting more assists. I guess Panarin's scoring all the goals, but you know what? I don't care. We're winning, and he's point per game, and that's the thing that matters. Big 4-3 win against the Detroit Red Wings. Point against Chicago. I'll take it. AHL just best lines it. Whatever. Montreal, let's see. They are 17, 13, and 6. We lose to them. Come on, boys. We got to beat these Eastern Conference teams. Toronto, we get a point. Okay. Columbus, they're losing, so we got to get a big dub against them. We'll just keep on going with the sim. Why not? Why stop? 3-1 win. Big 3-2 win against Colorado. And yes, we're Bitten's back from injury in the AHL. Eberle is fully healed. We're continue with that. He wasn't fully injured to begin with. New Jersey, we got to get some divisional wins. There's another win against Columbus. Florida, 6-1 loss. Oof, that's gotta suck. So we're a bit 500 now. We might end up stopping just to spread it out a bit, but at the same time, if someone's available by the deadline, then yeah, you know what? No, okay, yeah. So we got 2 big wins there. Our defense is coming through. Martinez for Hargrave. I'm going to decline that. That's a very good offer, and I believe Hargrave. I realized this after when I was looking through the team. Yeah, we checked out Martinez already, but Hargrave, he's 20 years old and only 60 overall. But I mean, how is he doing in the AHL? Is he getting points at least? 7 points, 5 goals, 44 games. Not too bad. Not good, but I mean, he's playing, so that's fine. And then we move up in the draft. We get a defenseman. That doesn't hurt. We have, I mean, our full defense though, so I don't know how we improve this team. I guess I don't know. Not a bad trade, but we're gonna reject it. You guys can let me know what you thought about that. I guess they were mad. So they beat us 3-0. Oof. Maybe if we had better defense. Wink, wink. Martinez. Never mind that. Okay, so we bounced back with a couple wins there. 1 win against Ottawa, 1 win against Vancouver, and another win. 3 wins in 1 month against Columbus. Wow, they must be having a bad season. Bob ain't stopping anything for them. Actually, he was, but they don't have offense. So let's see. Go to the queue. We'll go 3 weeks there. And we had a loss against Toronto there, I believe. I'd like to get some more wins against Eastern Conference teams, just so then if we do get closer to the playoffs, it's going to matter. And I'd like the President's Trophy too. That wouldn't be bad. Actually, maybe it would be because I think EA normally glitches it. So then whenever you're the President's Trophy team, you get something like you get swept by the 16th place team or something, whatever. Alex Goligoski, no, overpaid, and he's basically washed up now. A couple losses here, big losing streak. Come on, boys, we've got to get a big dub out of this. Barzell, and we lose to them. Our offense is shoring up. We had that one game against Arizona, but I guess we got to just hope for the best. I'm not really worrying about making changes right now. Lucas Biza, not a bad move, but again, we'll just look at that later. I mean, it really is just in case there's injuries. We got some wins there, so I'm not too worried. We will just go straight up to the deadline. Oh, crap. Frick! Oh, my gosh. Ugh, okay, so you guys may not know this, but there's a glitch in the game. It is, of course, it's EA. You press circle, you press cancel with the X button, and you do it too fast, and the game freezes. So I don't remember if I have autosave on, but I have no other option. Hopefully it's there, and I'll hopefully see you guys in 2 seconds. I should have saved.
as clever as you think you are. You try to run, but you won't get that far. I'm right behind you like we're racing, like a chase scene. All your endeavors end with no regret. You play it cool while you try to forget, but it's right behind you like it's racing, like a chase scene. Just like we're racing, like a chase scene. Now I'm on your heels and I'm inside your head. I'm on the scene and I'm inside your bed. I'm moving quick just like we're racing, like a chase scene.
Okay, finally, after all this stupid stuff that happened, I don't remember where I was when I ended off in the last save file, but it's not the same as it was, and we did get some more prospects in the AHL, and we did end up winning more games, but we had 4,000 more injuries that made it much more frustrating. And I mean, it glitched out, and I did my best. I showed you guys the trade. I had to give up a bit more assets, and I don't even know if that was the exact trade, but I just wanted to get it done. I just wanted to get this team back the way it was. And the first time I went to go and make the Falk trade, Falk wasn't on the block. So I had to redo that. And it's like, oh my gosh, but we had all of our signings proper. And then I'm like, okay, this time I'm going to save after it. And then, of course, Falk ended up being on the trade block. And it's like, oh, great. So that means that we wouldn't have to redo it and get different signings. And I'm like, well, I didn't really want these low elite prospects. Honestly, I would have rather... Okay. In the first time, I would have rather had this better record and those prospects. But if we, I would rather have not spent I spent an extra hour on having to do this video because I had to fix the game. Because and I should probably... Okay, guys, you guys can let me know. Should I put on autosave or should I just redo it if something like that happens? Because, oh man, you know what? I think I'm just going to put on autosave. I'm going to save it. Because that's that. And then, holy crap. Oh man, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. I'm so tired. I just want to go eat. I want to go just leave. But you know what? I finally was able to finish the recording. That was really smooth on my part. I literally just muted my mic. What was I saying? I finally got to finish the recording. So that was good for me. Injuries, oh man, those were ridiculous. But I'm gonna leave it because that made it somewhat more realistic, even though it was twice as more annoying. Was that trade difficulty always on medium? Whatever, I'll leave that. At least that's a lot nicer. But I think it's more realistic too. It's still pretty fair. I think hard is just ridiculous. It makes it impossible to trade for some players sometimes, even if it is like even if you're overpaying, it's like ridiculous. But I would say, what was it? Autosave. Do I want to put autosave up? Do I have autosave on? Obviously, I probably don't because. Wait, where is it? Is it not there? Oh, it's at the bottom. Off. Yeah. No, we're gonna go autosave. But then if I lose the recording, okay, so then if I lose the recording, that's the only problem. But I think I'd rather lose the, well, it's not necessarily true. I don't know. Just gonna autosave. I haven't lost a recording in a long time, so I'm not even sure if I have. But you know what? That's good. Let's go. Yeah, sorry. We were gonna go up to the trade deadline. I might as well have just done that in this video, or while I was speeding through all of that. But I'm going to quickly do this. It's nice. We had all those ridiculous injuries to our defense. That was literally like Vancouver's defense getting injured like 24/7. Oh man. And then defense there in the queue. And then we still need to make goalies. But Philadelphia, let's see how we do against them. We lost them earlier on and then we lose again. That's all right. We're 40-17-3. Holy moly. We had a big winning streak there at the beginning of the month. Tom's, he had a really good season, a bit of a season for us. We don't really need Bomeister in his humongous contract, so I mean, I don't think we do unless we're improving our defense. But even then, I mean, we are stacked. We're so stacked. We've had such a great season. And I'll put those guys out. It doesn't matter. They're going to be in surplus, but whatever. We're basically at the trade deadline. So we can check out player stats, team stats, all that. I'm going to do that as quick as I can. You know what? I'm not... Okay, sure. Might as well do it all. I was going to be like, oh, well, I don't... Oh, frick, was that the calendar? I saw the logos, and I'm like, oh, that's got to be the stats. Okay, there's the standings, but if we look at... Yeah, so we're at the top of our division. That's nice. But it looks like our division's pretty tough this year, isn't it? Well, no, even if we fell apart, I wouldn't. No, I don't see us falling apart. So, entire league, we are tied for the top of the league with Dallas, the Cup champs of last year, the defending Cup champs. We are second in the league for offense. Makes sense. Defense, we're best in the league for defense. That's what I like to see. Power play is 25.8, good for third in the league. Let's see. Time shorthanded. We do not take penalties, but we have the best penalty kill by a mile. See, that's why I kept Josh Bailey. Oh man, it makes sense. We're at the top of the league. We're good in everything. We're the best. I say it right here. We are the best team in the NHL right now. If we don't win the cup, I don't know how. I don't, because Jonathan Tavares isn't quite point per game, but he was before. Panarin, yeah, it's more like last season, but they got to get their plus minus up there. It didn't help not having Eberle, but Eberle. Josh Norris, I mean, he's playing outstanding. Look at that. His offensive awareness just carries him. Justin Falk getting tons of points there. That's nice. He has 12 goals in the season. Brodin, once again, doing very well. Josh Hosey, not too bad. Could have a better season. We have the best offense, but it's more depth. Middlestat, he got injured. I wish we had the offense from the last simulation we were doing. Leddy, 20 points, 40 games. I guess that's really good. But I'd still like to see more, obviously. I mean, it's Nick Leddy. In real life, he's supposed to be Norris Trophy candidate and all that stuff. Let's see. Montour, Fabro's getting some good numbers. That's nice to see. His offensive awareness and defensive stats have boosted up since the beginning of the season. Tom's, again, he was a point per game, and this is... You know what? He's an NHL defenseman. Kavanagh, we ended up calling up. He didn't do too great, but you know what? He got some shots. We got a bit more ice time, and look at that. He blocked shots. So, what do you know? That's the stuff you learn. We have some good defensive prospects. That's what I like to see. Roland McEwen, not playing great, -3, but you know what? It's all right. He's doing what he can. He's getting a decent amount of minutes, and his stats aren't too bad. So, he's all right. It's unfortunate he doesn't have a point, but Now, what are you going to do? Goalies, let's see what we got for goaltending. Yeah, okay, our goalies, Sorokin was doing outstanding. He still is doing pretty well for a backup. I mean, for what he is, you kind of want to see better, but he's not getting that many games, so makes sense. Vezina candidate, if not the best goalie in the NHL right now. I mean, Cam Talbot is amazing right now for us, and he can lead us to the promised land. He will be able to do that. He's a capable goaltender, and it's not going to be his fault if we lose. It can't be. So, um, let's quickly look at the trade block. We might as well, and it's going to be a ridiculously long video, but we got blockbuster trades. We got like half the season. So by next episode, we're going to have the season done. So I'd say it was a pretty good episode, and because it's this long, I don't really mind because of what we actually did get done. If it was like we weren't doing stuff, then I wouldn't have really been happy with it, but I mean, who knows? I know I recorded for 2 hours, but actually with the speed up, it may be a bit quicker, but who knows? Dougie Hamilton, if you want him, no, he's a minus 20. Trade value's off the charts. I mean, maybe, but still. Michael Frolik, he would be a good replacement for the penalty kill if we get an injury or just improve it even more to get it to, 96%? But, I mean, 2 years left, maybe not. There's some options, though. Again, if you want to look for injuries. Lindholm, he is, wow, look at his defensive category. I actually like him a lot. I was really considering trading for him before, and, he's a heck of a player. He'd be, like, the kind of guy I would want in exchange for, like, Josh Hosang, but I'm okay with what I have. Brendan Saad, if you want a defensive top-line guy, plays penalty kill, plays power play, injuries happen, I mean, he's great. Johnny Taves, huge contract. I'm not even going to look at that. Well, I did, so, I mean, I guess that's out the window, but whatever. You guys know what I mean, obviously. Continuing to go, oh my god. Anthony Mantha, I mean, do we go after him? He's having an average season, but is that just because he's with Detroit? I mean, he plays with Larkin. He doesn't look like he's getting as many minutes, but, well, I guess almost 16 minutes for a forward isn't that bad. Athanasio, he's like Bouvillier for us, but a bit better. I mean, Mantha is a great option if you really want to go for it, but, I mean, what are we going to be able to... We got to look at what we were able to give up. Tolvanen is available. I did not go after him in the... before. How did Jake Muzzin get back on LA? What the heck? And now he was on the trade block again. That's hilarious. It's weird. And now McDonough and Subban, of course, are still on the block. So is there a way to improve this team? And do we, like, realistically, guys, actually looking at our team, like, we can finish off the episode on our team. Looking at what we lack or what we have, like, is it really worth it to give up a bunch of assets of whatever we have, prospects, draft picks, like any sorts? Let's check out San Jose for a second. They are okay. They're doing all right. So our first round pick will be somewhat valuable. Draft picks. We have draft picks to trade. Let's look at this. We have Hargrave. We could trade him. If we want to improve at a roster spot, I guess we could trade a guy like Hosang or Bellows or whatever. Low elite prospects. I feel kind of bad for taking these guys, but I mean, whatever you guys think. I mean, in hindsight, we signed him. Kavanaugh looks good. I would probably keep him. But I mean, in hindsight, we give up our first. We give up all those draft picks. I mean, again, we can always, I guess, in hindsight, I mean, cap is going to be a thing. We're always going to need to draft more prospects. So holding on to those draft picks doesn't always hurt. And we can always make a move at the draft. Is it worth it to go out for another high-end rental, though? Because, like, who's coming out of our lineup then? Like, you look at the guys we have. Like, our defense is outstanding. It's just, like, it's really deep. We added Falk, so that improved our defense. Do we go a step further, move down a guy like, I guess, Fabro? Maybe trade a pending UFA like Montour, I guess. Maybe trade him for a draft pick or in exchange along with a couple other assets for that upgrade at defense. Does that help? Does that throw off our team chemistry wise? Do we end up losing every game from here on out and get swept in the playoffs? Is the morale going to be a factor if we end up losing a guy like that? But also, if we do end up trading for what the game would consider a star player, we would also get an upgrade. So it's kind of hard to say. Middlestat, he's getting better. That's nice to see. His defensive stats are so much better. Physicality, he's so much better. Doesn't have as much offensive awareness or speed, but all around much more well-rounded player compared to Barzell. Svechnikov, he's having an outstanding season. Goal scoring is off the charts. I mean, I would say, I don't know. Like, do you just get another, like, do you put a guy like Mantha on your top line, move down Eberle, or put Mantha on your third line and just make it outstanding like that? Do you improve your defense? Do you improve your, no, you don't improve your goaltending. You can't. You can't. I don't get, like, you put Price as your backup? What? Like, so it's really tough. We could add a depth. We could add and make another star position, a star player come into a position. But I'm just gonna leave it there because you guys basically know what's available. You guys probably will say some of the similar stuff. I will look around and see what improves our team the best. Maybe not making a move would be the wisest choice for this team. Just not throwing it off. If we have a cup contender here, we're best in the league, so would making our team somewhat better, would that throw guys off? That's the biggest question. But you guys can let me know, of course, in the comments down below. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss out on the next episodes that come out, because it's going to get hyped it's going to get hyped up as we get ready for the playoffs here, and for a big cup run, hopefully, with the New York Islanders here. And once again, if you guys are ever so kind, make sure you hit that like button. It is greatly appreciated. And I'm going to end off here. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next episode. We make the New York Islanders continue to get better and go on a humongous cup run.
1, 2, 3, let's go.